Love doesn't discriminate. It doesn't pick and choose. When there's so much to fight against, love fights for. When others flee, love runs toward. And when darkness prevails, love doesn't despair. It never feels too small or too weak or too powerless to help. Love knows its worth and remembers its strength. Love isn't pro this or pro that, but proactive and protective. It's never quick to rage, but always quick to courageous compassion. Love gives everything and expects nothing. For 156 years, the Salvation Army has loved all who feel lost. With your help, we'll never stop.
Yet again, a very, very special occasion, the 2024 Billie Little Salvation Army Telethon, coming to you live from Dalton, Georgia. And what we have is very gracious people in front of us right now collecting phone calls, donations for tonight's very special event. And I am joined by Billie Little herself to my left and Cherry Robertson to my right. And these lovely ladies are devoting their time this evening to making this night very, very special. So, Billie, we have been 27 years now in where we are today. Astounding run for raising kids and raising money for kids. But tell us about the genesis. What led up, for those that are new to this event, what led up to creating this telethon?
Well, it was 27 years ago, and Doug Jensen and the major here asked me to come and talk about an idea to raise the money. And man does it, but it's God's work. And it's been a wonderful 27 years. Dalton always gives, and they've been so generous every year for the Salvation Army.
Well said, and it's so true. A very, very worthwhile cause for helping area kids locally get to Salvation Army camps. We have Camp Grandview 1 week down in Jasper, Georgia, and there are 6 weeks of camp this summer in the Dalton area. Kids learn about music, arts, crafts, teamwork, team building skills, the skills that they will take for a lifetime. And so your dollar, every dollar we raise tonight helps those kids get to camp and change their lives for the better. So also joined here, as I mentioned, with Cherry Robertson. And Cherry, you have been co-chair. And how long have you been co-chair?
Going on 3 years now.
Fantastic. All right, excellent. And really, what is your role in this charity, and really, why do you get behind it?
Well, as you know, the Salvation Army is synonymous with helping and making an impact in their community, and I wanted to be a part of that. But in this position, the greatest part is getting to witness and see Miss Billie Little lead this amazing group. It is just inspiring to watch her and see the brilliance behind everything that happens.
It is true. There is great brilliance with this lady, and year in and year out, how we continue to break records. Our goal for this evening is $35,000 to be raised. Every dollar, every nickel, every quarter will go towards that total, and hoping that we raise that. Now, Billie, what do you think is different about this year versus perhaps previous years?
One thing, if we can do what we're planning to do, it'll be the first time that every child that goes to our 6 weeks camp can go a week at Camp Grandview. I have been over to that camp. It's a dream. It can change young people's lives going there. And that's our big difference. So we really need you to give. We want every child that comes 6 weeks here to go a week at Camp Grandview.
Oh man, every kid. That is such an exciting goal, and we can make it happen through your donations. 706-529-3000. We want you to dial it. You have a QR code at the bottom of our screen. You can simply hold your mobile device up to that. That will give you instructions on how to either mail in a check or make a donation via credit card. So again, 706-529-3000. This panel of esteemed of individuals at our phone bank are here to take your call, 706-529-3000, or the QR code at the bottom of your TV screen. Now, Cherry, what do you look forward to in terms of what we're able to accomplish this evening?
Anytime this group of individuals gets together, the memories are just amazing, and we have so much fun. But mostly I'm looking forward to changing kids' lives. And that number, the number of kids' lives that we change, is dependent on our callers. So we need them to call in so that we can send as many as possible to the camp this summer and to Grandview. So I'm looking forward to seeing that number come up.
Oh man, that is so true, and so this night never gets old. It's such a great opportunity. Every dollar that's raised stays local. This does not go outside of this community. It helps kids get to one of the camps that we just talked about. But what is common is that these kids who would otherwise not be able to be exposed to life-changing skills, music, the arts, sports, team building, they wouldn't be able to do that without your donations, and so we just thank you in advance for what you're giving. We also want to thank OptiLink for this amazing phone bank. Our partners at OptiLink, we appreciate you so much. This event does not happen without that partnership, so thank you so very much. So with that, I want to thank Billie.
Can I just say
Say one other word.
It's about the callers you have here. Most of these callers have been here for 27 years. And I praise God for each one of them and thank them for taking time out of their lives to be here to make these calls.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Billie. And I second that. Thanks to each of these gentlemen for the service they provide, and thank you, Cherry, for your leadership and devoting time for such a wonderful event. All right, so now we're going to kick it over to Judy as she will be interviewing Lieutenant Sebastian and Natalie Corey, and we'll kick it over to you, Judy.
Well, hi. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate you bringing it back over here. We're talking now with Lieutenants Sebastian and Natalie Aroki. And here in Dalton now, we're so excited that you're here tonight with us. And tell me a little bit about how long have you been in Dalton?
Oh, man, we've been in Dalton about 6 months, and we are absolutely loving it. We got here in June of 23, and we have been rolling up our sleeves and working all the way through. We've fallen in love with the mountains. My goodness, our daughters go crazy over them all the time. And it's been a really good experience. We've been loving the Salvation Army and what we're doing here.
Yeah, we're so delighted to have you. Tell me about your children, your family.
Yeah, so I have a pre-K-er and a 1-year-old, a 1.5-year-old. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they are absolutely a blessing from the Lord. Very active, but our family of 4, 2 girls. Wow. He's outnumbered over here.
Well, that's why he's not talking.
Exactly, exactly.
I know better.
All right, well, let's hear
exactly.
from you. We'll give you a chance here. I know a lot of things are happening at the Salvation Army. Can you kind of just give me kind of a broad update of what's going on?
Yeah, so we're really excited to be here. First, we feel so welcome from the community. It's so great to come into Newtown and just be received by everyone wonderfully. So we're very excited about that. One of the biggest things that we're working on now is actually called a mission planning study. And the mission planning study actually evaluates what we're doing in the community, talks to other partners and agencies around town, even local government and local authorities, just to see what the real needs of the community are and see how we're meeting those needs, or if we need to adjust our services so that we can meet those human needs that are needed in our community specifically.
Right. That's great because, I mean, you could have all these services, but you really need to cater that to the community that you're in.
Right,
And
right.
I love that idea of how you're kind of looking at that and kind of updating with that. Now, where did you guys move from? I didn't ask that question.
So we moved from Griffin, Georgia. That was our very first appointment as Salvation Army officers. Prior, we were in Atlanta, Georgia, being trained to be Salvation Army officers. Then at the start of 2020, or in the middle of 2020, we moved to Griffin, Georgia. And then this past summer, we moved to Dalton.
Okay, great. Now, how long have you been in the Salvation Army?
I've been in the Salvation Army since I was a kid.
Really?
I've started going to the Salvation Army at Camp Grandview when I was 7 years old.
Oh my goodness, this
It's been a
really
long
means a
time.
lot to you tonight,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Exactly.
It's huge what the Salvation Army did for me and how they changed my life and helped my family. So now that's what I believe in, is that I can be the same to community and people in need.
Right. And that's what tonight is all about, you know, is raising money here at the Telethon about changing lives of children, children who may not ever have this opportunity to do. And it has to be so warm feeling to be here.
It is, yeah.
And particularly since you came from, you know, knowing, I guess, Salvation Army through the camp.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a
Absolutely.
product of the Salvation Army, and that's why I believe in what we do so much, because I don't see it, but it happened to me. It happened to my family.
Right. Do you ever imagine yourself like what would I be now if I hadn't ever been part of the camp?
Camp changed my life. I don't know what I would do. As a teenager, as a young adult, I worked at camp. I spent my summers at camp. I got to the point where I was one of the most longtime veterans at camp because I've spent so much time there. I believe in it so much. Camp, we always say camp changes lives, and it really does.
Yeah. Well, I'm always so excited to be part of this telethon here at the station. WDNN loves to do the telethon, and we're just so glad that we can help with changing the lives of children. Now, tell me a little bit about, did you grow up in Salvation Army?
Yeah, so I did grow up. My parents were in the Army as well. I was in it until I was about 12 years old is when I entered. And I grew up in the church. I was on the pews, and my parents, you know, they kind of volunteer you what to do, right?
Yes.
I know, but we met in the church, actually. We met at camp, actually. And it's been a journey ever since, and the Salvation Army has truly been such an impact in my life, in my family's life. And so what greater purpose, right, than to serve the community and serve the Lord, right?
Yeah.
We always say serve one and in return serve many, and that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Right, and the Salvation Army does that so well. Well, thank you so much for your time, for being with me here tonight. And as we continue with this great telethon, you stay with us. Let's take it back over to Jason now on the phone set.
And Lieutenant Sebastian and Natalie Aroki for that amazing update. If you are just tuning in, you have tuned in to the 2024 Billie Little Salvation Army Telethon. Do not change your dial. You're right where you need to be. This is an amazing event where we raise money locally for our kids to get them to a very amazing camp experience, either Camp Grandview down in Jasper, Georgia, beautiful camp, or locally here in the greater Dalton area, where our kids are learning about fundamental skills in the arts, sports, team building, just experiences where they get to grow and take with them for a lifetime. And it's through every dollar that we raise this evening to help those kids get to the camp. This year's goal is $35,000. Each year, our callers make it happen. And if you see the number at the bottom of your screen, 706-529-3000, you dial that, you'll get one of these amazing guys here in front of me where you can make any donation amount and they will gladly accept it. Also at the bottom of your screen is the QR code where you can scan it with your mobile device. That will give you the option to donate via credit card. And also we have an address on your screen that can also be where donations may be mailed. But as I mentioned, every dollar goes to help kids locally. That is the goal here. And so we thank you so very much. Speaking of these esteemed gentlemen in front of me, I want to speak with one in particular. We have David McDaniel, who is currently serving as chair of the Salvation Army, and we thank you, sir, so much for your service. How long have you been serving in that role?
This is my third year as the chairperson. I've been volunteering with the Salvation Army Board for close to 10 years now. It is a wonderful organization. I highly recommend that if you have time to volunteer, come join us.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well, honestly, we're trying to get folks motivated. What you gentlemen are doing is making it happen. So ultimately, you've been at this event for many years. What brings you back every year?
Miss Billie Little. If I weren't here, I would be in trouble, and I'm not about to let Miss Billie Little get me in trouble. So no, there are hundreds of kids that we're trying to help with summer camp. There's an arts and crafts program. There's a chance for these children to learn new skills, new talents, to interact with people, and to experience things that they may not otherwise experience.
And, we were talking beforehand, and you made some really insightful remarks about how we're preparing kids for later in life. And how do you think these camps do that?
Well, they learn to be a part of something that is bigger than them. And when you learn to say, I'm part of a community, you're going to support that community. So that's one of the reasons you need to donate so we can do that for these kids.
Definitely. Well said. Thank you, David, for your service. We appreciate it. Yes. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got, again, some amazing people here that are serving, that are helping us. I'm going to catch Mr. Bill Bowen in between phone calls here. I've been observing from behind here, and you've been having some people donate so far. Is that right?
Yeah, we have real good response so far for a great cause. Salvation Army does a lot of good work in this community and in any community where they serve. So we don't mind at all helping folks, and this is a small thing, small way of doing our part.
Sure, definitely. Well, I agree 100%. Bill, what really does bring you back year in year? Because you have been serving for such a long time with this, and we appreciate that tremendously. But what gets you coming back every year?
Well, to your point, I worked in a local bank one year, several years ago, and one day in the morning, the president of the bank came down and said, Bill, the chairman of our board, who was a very proud supporter of the Army, asked you if you'd go to lunch with him today at the Salvation Army board meeting. And I said, do I have a choice? And he said, no, not really. So I've been a board member ever since, and I don't know how many years that is, but it's just a good organization. A lot of good youth organizations in our community do a lot of good, but the Army certainly serves youth as well as adults in so many areas, and it's a very worthwhile organization.
Most definitely. Well, thank you for your service, sir. We appreciate it. Many good things come out of being voluntold to do something. I've been there myself, and so yes, that is for certain. If you are just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, you have tuned into a fantastic event where we are raising money for local youth to get them to area Salvation Army camps. This is the vision of Billie Little, an amazing local lady that really had this vision 27 years ago to raise money for kids to get them to these camps. And every dollar raised tonight, 706-529-3000, or that QR code, will go to help get the kids to those camps. We also want to thank our partners at OptiLink. Thank you so much for the donation of the phones and your participation in this evening's event. We could not do it without you. So again, please, ladies and gentlemen, take just a very quick moment to provide that donation to us to this very, very worthwhile cause. And so we just appreciate each and every one of you for what you do for this community and communicating with our kids accordingly. So with that, I believe we are now going to be catching a video providing us with the Salvation Army core values.
The Salvation Army is motivated by our core values in all we do, choosing to be brave as we help disaster survivors who are searching for a glimpse of hope, showing compassion through our unemployment services and prison ministries for those looking for a way out of their brokenness, passionately caring for our youth through summer camps, daycare centers, educational programs, and providing gifts at Christmas for families in need. being uplifting through our rehabilitation centers and programs for those struggling with alcohol or substance abuse, building trust within communities as we combat human trafficking, love the elderly, and overcome poverty by creating a pathway of hope.
Sponsors: Chick-fil-A, Little Caesars, Krispy Kreme, OptiLink, and would also like to thank our donors, the Rollins, Coneman, Easley, Glenn, Bartley, Bruner,
Elliott, Adcock, Adams, Roland Campfire Fund, Squillario, McCamey, Jones, Shaw, Hammock. And let's put up our total.
our first total.
Let's go! Yay! All right. Yay! $5,840. Back to you, Jason. Get us more.
Again, as a reminder, we are at we're just under 6,000, but our goal is 35,000. And with your donations this evening, we're going to get there. And I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to exceed that goal, but it's not going to happen without your guys' contributions. So please call in 706-529-3000 or the QR code at the bottom of your screen where you can donate via credit card. We appreciate your donations. Joined on the Salvation Army stage this evening is the Divisional Secretary of Field Support, Major James Allison. Major, thank you so much for being with us this evening. So here we are, this event. I was telling someone earlier, it just flies around and it is here again. So exciting to have you with us this evening. What I guess for starters, tell us a little bit about your role with Salvation Army.
My role with the Salvation Army at the divisional headquarters is to provide support to Corps and to officers, to be a mentor, to be a leader, to be an advisor as far as business is concerned. Wherever they might have a problem, they call me and I go help them solve it.
Fantastic. Well, so with that, that's a major role, no doubt about it. But really, what was the kind of the springboard of the genesis that did it cause you to say, you know what, I want to serve with the Salvation Army?
Yes, in 1966, attended the Salvation Army Sunday School, and the officer said at the end of the service, he asked my dad where we lived. He said the station wagon will be there on Wednesday night at 6:30 to pick you up for prayer meeting. And I tell folks I've been getting in that station wagon ever since. I've been an officer was active officer for 43 years, have been retired for 4 and have not stopped yet. So the Salvation Army, in a real sense, as a young person, as a teenager, my dad died when I was 14. The Salvation Army came alongside me, the officer and others, and really just saved my life through my difficult teenage years. And I'm so grateful for that. My first camp, I was thinking about it on the way up here, my first camp, my first time away from home overnight, 57 years ago, was at a Salvation Army camp. And it changed my life. It put me on a different trajectory, gave me the opportunity to do things I never thought I would do, learn how to shoot a bow and arrow, learn how to fish, learn the fact that God actually loved me and there was a God and he loved me, to learn all kinds of skills. And probably my favorite thing was to play tetherball. You probably never, I don't know, you may not know what tetherball is.
I'm old enough to appreciate that. Yeah.
But it's a ball on a rope, on a pole, and you try to wrap it around the pole before your opponent does. So all of those things happened to me 57 years ago because Salvation Army has a camp.
That is everything you just described is really what we're trying to expose kids to in today's age, because really all the activities that you just mentioned, they're still going on to this day. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. A child going to camp. I read just a few days ago a testimonial from a young person who had been to Camp Grandview, and they talked about how it changed their life, how it gave them a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning, helped them to know that they were not a mistake. A lot of our children today think they're a mistake, but if they go to Camp Grandview, they'll come back knowing they're not a mistake. It also gave them an opportunity to have a job, because they went on from being a camper to being a staff member at Camp Grandview. And from being a staff member at Camp Grandview, they became a Salvation Army officer, and they're now bringing kids to Camp Grandview.
You know, that's a great testimonial that, you know, not only did it change that child's life, instilled value in them, but it ultimately set their path for the career for the rest of their life. And so you think about, oh, it's just a camp, you know, the kids will have fun and that'll be the end of it. Well, they definitely have fun, but you really don't fully comprehend the seeds that are being planted with the money that's donated during this event each year to help the kids' life for the better. And we thank you in advance. But please take a moment, dial 706-529-3000, or use the QR code to make a donation via credit card. Every dollar counts. We want to blow that goal of $35,000 out of the water. And again, a reminder, that money stays local. This does not leave this community, this greater Dalton area. It gets the kids to their camps, either one of the camps within the 6-week block in the summer in Dalton, or down to Camp Grandview, as Major Allison just talked about, in beautiful Jasper, Georgia. These kids' lives will be changed for the better through your donations. So again, please consider giving. We thank you so much. Thank you, Major, for your service, for your testimony. I mean, what a great testimony it is, and to see you here today. And I'm kind of glad that you haven't fully retired yet.
Me too. Retirement is not for me.
Well, what a great service. No doubt about it.
If I could just add one thing.
Of course.
If you donate tonight, this will be the best investment you've made all year long. So this is a great investment in the future of our country, in the future of Dalton, in the future of children's lives.
Yes, thank you, Major. Well said, well said. We will kick it now over to Judy as she interviews Leah Spuler for learning more about the Salvation Army Social Services. Judy.
Well, now I'm talking with Leah Spuler, and she is the Director of Social Services and Summer Day Camp Director for here, the Salvation Army. Hey, I thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. We are having a great time here at the Telethon, aren't we?
Yes, it's great.
I always love it, as I was talking earlier about this. But tell me, introduce yourself and tell me sort of what your role is with the Salvation Army here.
Yeah, my name's Leah Spuler. I'm our Director of Social Services. So I am in charge of networking and communicating with other agencies in our community so we can make sure that our clients are receiving the best services that they possibly can. I also facilitate our social services department, and we do lots of services. We provide emergency financial assistance, clothing vouchers, we can do food assistance, we have case management programs through our Pathway of Hope and transitional housing programs, and of course our summer camp program, which I run.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a big job.
It is. It's a fun job, though.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Tell me a little bit more about the summer day camp.
Yeah, so it's a 6-week day camp, and it's free for our families. It is music and arts based, so the kids who can come in can choose between different majors. So we do band, theater, dance, puppets. They also have electives that they can choose. So it's a lot of fun. And it's 6 weeks long. It starts June 10th and it goes through July 19th. And the last week of that, they get to go to
Camp Grandview.
Camp Grandview, yes, in Jasper for an entire week for sleepaway camp.
Yeah. So I think that's so exciting for kids to be able to come in for that long of a program.
Yeah.
Because the summertime, sometimes there's not a lot that they can do.
Absolutely.
And this kind of gives them a little bit of piece of a lot of different ways to enjoy and learn, and not only about music instruments, but about Christ.
Yes, exactly. And we start every day with a devotion, and the kids learn so much all summer. They have so much fun.
Right. Well, how many children usually join summer camp?
Yeah, we have spots for 50 kids. So that's really great. We get to do 50 kids every summer.
Yeah. And next question, everyone always wants to know, how much is it going to cost?
Nothing. It's free for families. It costs $280 to send a kid to camp. That includes our day camp and Camp Grandview. So our telethon allows families to get to send their kids at no cost. And that includes meals, breakfast, lunch, and a snack.
See?
So it's really great.
That's what you are sending money in tonight to help with the many services here that the Salvation Army does, particularly this camp. This is their primary reason tonight of why we're doing this. You talked about the music and the arts for the summer camp. Are there other things, other activities? I think you mentioned that not only will they attend this, is it 6 weeks of this?
Yeah, 6 weeks total.
And then that automatically gets them also to Grandview.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's great. What about some of the other activities that they do during the summer camp? I know I mentioned, I think I saw somewhere about a water day or other, kind of like a field trip out there.
Yeah, every Friday we do a field trip. So it's really fun. We do lots of fun things. We take them out in the community. We have our buses that we get to take them on. So last year we did a water day. That was at our location and the kids loved that. We went to the Telethon Museum, the Children's Discovery Museum, Just Jump, which was I think their favorite. We did skating, and every year we try to switch it up to try to bring new activities. So they love it.
Well, is there an age limit on that camp? I'm going to sign up.
There, 7 to 13 is our is the age range for our kiddos.
Well, it sounds like lots and lots and lots of fun.
It is.
How many families usually sign up their children, and is there a limit? I think you mentioned that earlier, but just in...
Yeah, so the kids have to be 7 to 13, and they can come sign up starting on April 10th. We have our Spring Fest at our location, and families can come out and they can learn about camp. If they have questions about Camp Grandview and just our regular camp, they can come and get applications and sign up. Like I said, we can take up to 50 kids, and normally we fill up pretty quickly, so the sooner you can get your applications in, the better.
So they can get their applications by how?
They can come to Spring Fest on April 10th from 5 to 7.
The telethon being the night. This is tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep. They can come out and get applications. They can come to our office. They can check out our Facebook page for all sorts of information about camp. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, Leah, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We've got to go back and find out how much money we've raised right now. Got to go over to Jason. But first, we're going to show you a video here of the social services and give you a little bit more idea of what that's about. So you stay with us.
Hope is a gift. A light that helps you take in this world, all its beauty. But life can be difficult. What do you do when you lose sight of hope? Unemployment, bills, head barely kept above water. Doubt tries to paralyze. Where do you even start? The Salvation Army's pathway of hope exists to help those trapped in the cycle of crisis and vulnerability. You are not called to move forward alone, but you are called to move forward. Remember why. Remember who. Remember, you are not alone. There is a pathway to take. If you are motivated and ready to take action, Pathway of Hope case managers at the Salvation Army are equipped to meet you where you are, offering guidance and tools to move forward. Remember why. Remember who. Look up and see a pathway of hope.
Welcome back to the total board.
Okay. So we would like to thank our sponsors, Chick-fil-A, Little Caesars, Krispy Kreme, and OptiLink. And we have donors also we would like to thank. Yarbrough, Brown, Godfrey, Bowen, Petway, Sigmund, Shaw Jr., Tice, Hubs, Merritt, Peoples, Bethel, Hanson, Wright, Chitwood, and Harlan.
And for the total now, whoops, 0.
We have a 2, a 5, we have a 7, and a 1.
$7,520. To you, Judy.
Well, now I'm talking with Brooke McElroy, and Brooke is the case management specialist for Pathway of Hope and the transitional housing program at the Salvation Army. And Brooke, I know we've got a long night here, but we're making a lot of progress for these kids and for camp. But I know you work with the housing, transitional housing, and Pathway of Hope, which is a huge, very important program that the Salvation Army does and provides to our community. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what role that you actually do at the Salvation Army.
I am the case management specialist for our Pathway of Hope and transitional housing programs. I work with families with children under the age of 18. All of my families, they have to have the desire to make changes for their future. With my support and guidance and then their hard work, we take them from crisis into stability.
Yeah, you know, that's so important in the part that you said, too. Their part is important as much as your part because they have to want to make the change.
And that's a really, really important part of my program. The vetting process is pretty long because we want to know that they want to make a difference. They want to do different.
Right. Well, tell me a little bit about how families benefit with that.
Okay. So all my families, like I said, they go through a vetting process. We make sure that they are ready and they actually want to be part of our Pathway of Hope program. Once they're accepted, then they meet with me once or twice, sometimes weekly, sometimes bi-weekly. It just really depends on their individual case plan. We make goals together, and then we do action steps so that they will be successful along their journey. And these families are usually more advanced than my transitional housing families are.
Right. And so it sounds to me like you're kind of like a coach, and you help them provide and get goals for themselves and then help them be accountable.
Yes.
I think that's an important part.
So a lot of my families, they're single moms, and so those ladies, those I always call them girls. Some of them are even older than I am, but they really need a mom. I mean, that is true. That they just need somebody to guide them because a lot of them don't have that.
Yeah, that's sad, but I'm so glad that the Salvation Army is there and has this program for you to be part of that and part of changing their lives as well. What about, tell me a little bit about the transitional housing. What is that?
Okay, so our transitional housing program, it really ran almost the same. I actually have adopted a lot of my curriculum and things from my Pathway of Hope program, and I use that to be able to do a guideline with them. They are usually a little bit less advanced. So they are actively in crisis. They're actively homeless usually. And so we put them into our units that we have on campus. So we have 4 units on campus, and they are absolutely no cost to the families. So while they're there, they get to learn about budgeting and saving their money. So whenever they leave, then they actually have some savings behind them, so that way they can buy furniture, and so that way they kind of have a nest egg to be able to leave with whenever they leave.
Wow. So is there a limit of time frame that they stay there?
Usually it's about 6 months to a year.
Wow, but how their lives are changed with that transition, and they come out of that program, I bet, like as you said, with a more home environment, and they've got that to take with them.
And a lot of them actually come back and will say, like, can I be part of the Pathway of Hope program now that I have done this? Like, I want to know more and I want to learn. And so a lot of them actually transition into that Pathway of Hope program.
Wow, that's wonderful. How can the community support the program? How can we help with that program?
So a lot of my stuff, whenever I move a family in, these little families do not have anything. They don't even have bedding for their kids. I mean, they could be staying in a car even. So any kind of household items, even something small like laundry detergent, that is something that we purchase for these families. And then whenever they leave, then all of their bedding and all of their kitchen supplies and everything that we purchased for that family going in, they get to take that into their permanent home.
That's great. So anything we can provide from a household products to,
just anything, as long as it's new, because we use all of our all new stuff for them.
How does a family in need get connected to the program? Someone watching here, and our time's almost up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So we take referrals from anybody, even self-referrals. So our DFACS workers, our social service workers, you could meet a family and say this family really needs this assistance, and then you just give them the Salvation Army number, and the Salvation Army will actually give me their information, and we will go from there.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank
we have a video we're going to share now that gives you a lot more information, kind of shows you visual about the Pathway of Hope video. We hope you enjoy this.
Pathway of Hope believes that a family must be empowered to make progress on their goals through renewing a family's hope for the future, building its confidence, raising its expectations, and providing it with a sense of communal belonging. To do this, Pathway of Hope must be more than a social services program. It is a holistic approach to ministry that fully utilizes all the resources of each Salvation Army Corps, their staff, congregation, programs, and supporters. The Army will surround each family with a support system providing social and spiritual strength during their journey from crisis to stability.
Well, I'm delighted to now have with me Amber Brooks, and Amber is a transitional home graduate and a daycare, summer daycare representative. But I just thank you so much for coming here tonight to the Telethon and sharing your story about you in transitional housing, how that transformed into you and your family, and how the changes were made. But let's talk a little bit about your family, because you have them here tonight. All your kids, they're so sweet. Tell me, introduce them to me.
I have a 12-year-old named Riley, a 9-year-old named Paisley, and a 2-year-old named Colton.
Okay, all right. So certainly we're going to be talking to two of your children, the older ones, here in a few minutes about what this has meant to them to be in summer camp, because that is really why we're here tonight, to raise money for summer camp, but and also to talk about the many services that the Salvation Army provides. And one of those great services you're a great recipient of and a graduate from, and that is the transitional housing.
It's called Pathway of Hope, yes.
Right. Tell me a little bit about your situation, like where you started, and kind of walk me through.
Okay, I was actually in a domestic violence situation and went to the crisis center. And while I was at the crisis center, they give you places to call for housing where you can be safe and have your own home for your child. Salvation Army has 4 little mini homes on site, and I actually got the interview and got in. We lived there for 16 months. And it was our own little place. We had our own bathroom, 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a little backyard. So we had stable environment and safe housing from the crisis center. So yeah,
that's
I was
wonderful.
very lucky to find it.
Right.
I didn't know they had stuff like that. So
well, I think people a lot of times when they're in situations like that, they don't know where to go, and they don't know what to do, first steps to do. But certainly, I know that the Salvation Army has been a fantastic resource for your transitional home.
Oh, it has. It was awesome. I loved it.
Tell me a little bit about kind of like how the health of the kids progressed during that time.
They became a lot more happy. They started doing well in school. They were playing outside. They just felt more, well, you know, I was happier. So when mommy becomes happier, the kids definitely feel that.
Yeah.
You know.
So that their whole
demeanor changed.
That's wonderful.
They're a little more outgoing, a little more silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Making more friends, like, you know, just the norm of a kid.
They became more normal in their actions.
Instead of more like worried, like for mommy.
Yes,
you know?
of course.
Or just what's going to happen, you know?
Right. Tell me what you accomplished during that 16 months that you were there.
Yes.
Tell me, because you went from really having nothing
no job,
going in there.
No car, because I didn't have a vehicle, I didn't have a job. You know, we kind of had to jump from place to place in this situation. And I obtained, you know, full-time employment. I bought a car. I saved money. I got permanent housing. I fixed my credit. I went to budgeting classes. And most of all, I got a support system.
Wow. It really changed your entire life and future, didn't it?
Yeah,
really?
it did, because I felt really alone and almost hopeless at one point.
Yeah.
And now I'm excited again, you know?
Right. I would think from that experience, the Salvation Army became your family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I didn't want to move out. But I was like, you know, of course you want to get your own place. That's exciting.
Right.
But, you know, you get complacent and you feel safe and you feel like, well, if something wrong happens, then, you know, I got them, which I still have them. And everything. But, you know, I do like it there.
Yeah.
And I was very blessed to find it and to get into it.
Right. But I think one of the things, too, is they provide this, but also they keep you kind of accountable.
Yes.
And kind of help you through the stages of becoming a new you.
Yes. Yeah. It gets you back on those routines that you kind of lose, you know, when things become chaotic or, you know, domestic violence. You just have no energy to do things that you want to do or like what you're supposed to do, really, because you're just drained.
Right.
And it gets you right back on that routine and what you're supposed to be doing, and, you know, it keeps you accountable,
I love it when you said your happiness came back.
Yeah.
And the kids, too. That's very important.
Yeah, because it does drain you being around somebody that's you know, not stable, pretty much.
Right. Right. When you talk about you graduated from the transitional housing, that was 16 months, you said, and then that was that time period has helped you move on. How has all this moving into your permanent home now helped you from an emotional standpoint, spiritual standpoint as well?
Oh, yeah.
This experience.
I'm doing my spiritual stuff again. You know, I light my candles and I do my praying and my meditating and, you know, my thoughts, like, by myself and center myself. Before I wasn't doing any of that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm outside more with the kids, which is also good for your spirituality. And
you became a new you.
Yeah, and my old self came back, you know.
That's
just a little little stronger.
Yeah, exactly. Well, from a standpoint of Riley and Paisley, who we're going to meet here in just a second, they attended the summer day camp.
Yeah.
Do they still?
Yeah, they're going this summer too. And they loved it. They loved it. They had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
I want to talk with them in a few minutes about that and their experience and how they feel about it. Because
and I hope they tell you because they're nervous.
Are they shy?
Yeah, well, not really, but all of a sudden, all of a sudden.
One question too, why did you feel that this type of experience for a summer camp was, you chose that versus other camps that you could also choose?
I don't know. Well,
music
for one, the music and the arts and the field trips and the ladies that work there and the couple men, they're just great.
Yeah.
They're good-hearted, wholesome people and they care.
Yeah. That's great.
My kids love art and music.
Yeah.
So
that
is to go.
That is great. And you know what that is, as we talked about earlier, that's why we're doing this telethon tonight. Send more kids who otherwise may not have that opportunity.
And that's another thing. It's free for families, which if you look up summer camps, they are so expensive. And it's only for like 3 days or a week. And this is 6 weeks long.
Yeah.
And they have somewhere that they're going to be having fun and learning and meeting friends. Yes, in a safe environment.
Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you so much. Congratulations. You have really come a long way from where you started in the transitional homes.
Thanks to them.
Yeah. Well, it's many services that the Salvation Army provides to us. All right, so we're going to take a break here. We're going to come back and we're going to add to this the children, Riley and Paisley, and their thoughts about summer camp. So stay with us here.
At the Salvation Army, a meal isn't just a meal. It's fuel for imagination, determination, and dreams. It's energy to be role models, change makers, and to just be kids. With your gift, a full meal means a full heart, a full night's sleep, and a future full of possibilities.
Well, now I'm talking with Riley and Paisley, and these are children of Amber. So we just talked with Amber a second ago. So tell me a little bit about, you are
12.
12, and how old are you?
9.
You're 9? Okay, all right. So what school do you go to?
Hammond Creek Middle School.
Okay, and how about you, Paisley?
Westwood.
Westwood, okay. Well, you girls I'm so glad that you're here tonight and for the telethon, and we're having a great time. And have you enjoyed being here? Okay. All right, tell me a little bit about summer camp, because I know that that's what we're raising money tonight. One of the reasons we're raising money to send kids to summer camp. Tell me about your experience about summer camp. What was your favorite thing to do at the camp?
Learning some dances and doing it on stage.
Oh, really? So that was great. Do you like music as well? Okay, that's great. Did you also meet a lot of new people?
Yeah, a girl that went to camp last year is my friend in school.
Oh, so. Did you know her before you went to camp?
No.
Really? And so you met a friend and then you became still friends? Now that's cool. I like that story. What about you, Paisley? Tell me about what you enjoyed so much about camp.
I like doing art there.
Art? Was it like, tell me an example of that. Did you draw, you color, you paint?
We did painting, we did clay and stuff.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, did you meet a lot of people there, new friends?
Yeah.
Do you ever see them now? But maybe you'll see them again at this year's summer camp, right? That would be cool. I understand you guys go on field trips, right? So what was your favorite, Riley, what was your favorite trip that you enjoyed the most?
Probably when we went to the jump park.
Just jump?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet that was fun. Were you tired when you finished?
Yeah.
I bet you were. How about you, Paisley? What was your favorite?
The skating rink.
The skating? Had you ever been skating before? Oh, you had. So now you're a pro at it, right? So I I know you guys look forward to coming, going again this year, right? So, is it one of the favorite things that you do in the summer? Because I mean, it's a long camp. It's not just one day camp. It's what, 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Camp. Yeah. And then what? You have breakfast there, snacks. What do you have?
Lunch and snacks.
Oh wow, that's a full day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I know that tonight we're going to be helping other kids like yourself get to camp, and so I bet you can tell them they would enjoy that, right? Yeah. If you're here tonight and you're going to be able to go to summer camp, these girls are a prime example of an experience and a positive experience that you've had at summer camp. Thank you guys for coming and being with us, okay? All right, so we'll go back now here at the telethon.
Welcome back to the total board. Remember, our goal is 35,000. Keep those phones ringing. We want to have the best year ever. So, Amy?
So we have some new donors that we would like to thank. Jolly, Lockett, Blackman, Rott, White, Ingalls, Tharp, Williams, Houston, Lauder, Henson, Miller, McClure, Sellers, Daniel, Houston, and Chapel. And of course, we can't forget our sponsors, Chick-fil-A, Little Caesars, Krispy Kreme, and OptiLink.
Yes. Yay. Thank you so much. Here is the new total, everybody. Here we go.
0. And we have a 5. And a 0. And we have a 6. And we have a 2, $26,050.
$50.
Yeah.
That donor dialing. Go, guys. To you, Judy.
Well, I'm delighted now to be on set with Michael Thompson, who is the lead caseworker for Financial Emergency Services, as well as Andrew Estes with the food center attendant for the food bank. And that is always a great. I've visited over there, the food bank, before. Wow, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of things that is huge. It's a lot of things and a lot of rewarding. I'm sure comes in with you.
Yes.
Seeing people receive what they need to do. But let's talk about you, Michael, first, and talk about what you're responsible for. A little bit about, introduce yourself a little bit.
All right. My name is Michael Thompson. I'm the lead caseworker for our Financial Emergency Assistance Program, and we help people with rent, utilities, and water bills, just different things like that, you know, when they're in financial need for those things. And
and I'm sure that they have to come in and at some point qualify or go through some type of, need process to know.
We have a financial hotline that they call, and they can call on the first or third Thursday of the month, usually on a Monday. And it's from 9 till 11 in the morning time. And we assist them through that hotline so we can give them the right need that they need help with.
Right. And again, is that for like utilities?
Yes, it's for any kind of financial assistance like utilities or, water bills, things like I mentioned earlier.
Right. And I know, Andrew, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Andrew Estes. I'm the food center attendant. So I work the food bank here at our Darton location and provide food boxes for all the people that need food. And if they need help, they just come to us, and I will provide them whatever they need.
Right. Now, tell me a little bit about the food bank. What type of food is in there?
We have different kinds of foods. We get a lot of meats, produce, shelf staple items, and even some sweet treats from our donors from like Chick-fil-A, which we just started with, which we're happy to have, Walmart, Food City, and our supporter United Way also helps out with that. If someone needs to have food, they can come to us Monday through Thursday starting at 1 o'clock, and they will go from probably 1 to whenever we hit a max of 20 households. And we are able to provide food for families every 30 days.
That's wonderful. What is the impact the Salvation Army has on the community? Can you share with us, like, how, Michael, how has your programs made a difference in what you see in our community?
In the last year, emergency assistance, including financial assistance, we've helped with clothing and prescriptions and served over 1,000 families.
My goodness.
So that's impacted a lot. There's probably someone knows someone that in our community that has received assistance through the Salvation Army. You know, we've touched so many people.
Right.
And we serve Whitfield, Gordon, and Murray County.
Gee, that's a lot. Right here, I mean, it's emergency services for people who are in these areas of Whitfield, Murray, and you said Gordon County as well?
Yeah, we have finances for them.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we really have touched a lot of people. Every day we get people who call us in need for financial assistance. So it's a pretty good bit of a struggle going on out there, you know, a lot of times. And
right.
So.
And I know a lot of times we might not see it, but you see a lot of that in the
every
community.
day. We see a lot of it.
Tell me, Andrea, a little bit about what you're involved in. How do you see has changed?
Last year, we served about 4,600 households, and I actually started in September. So, taking on Michael, and he transferred over, and I'd say that our biggest impact is being able to provide the food for people that need it. I always say that I would like to do more than 20. If I had the resources, I would probably be able to hit 30 to 50.
Wow. So what does it take to get more resources? I mean,
You'd have to come in and we can provide, if we cannot get you food, we will provide you resources, pamphlets, anything that will lead you to where you can find someone else to go to.
Now, when it comes to the food, and our time's almost up, can people give as well?
Yes,
in the community to help
people
out?
do. Yes, people are allowed to donate. Yes, we get a lot of donations, and it is very helpful for us because then it allows us to help more people.
Right.
Can I say something
Yeah,
about
sure.
the donations? We also take donations, not just food donations, but clothing, and we'll take hygiene items. So we give out a lot of different items, any kind of personal items like that.
New items.
Yes. We can give those out to people like diapers for babies, baby formula. We give out all kinds of things. So it's really not limited to just food or anything like that.
Right. Just that need needs to be known at the Salvation Army.
Exactly.
Well, thank you both for being with me, spending some time. We got a big night here at a telethon, and right now we're going to go to a video, kind of give you an idea of more the social services that are happening here, and then we'll go to the total board and see where we are. So stay with us here.
We are back at the total board, and Amy's got some people to thank for sure.
Yes, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Chick-fil-A, Little Caesars, Krispy Kreme, OptiLink, and we also have some new donors that we would like to thank. The Kennard, Marlowe, McDaniel, Knight, Sponkler, Stewart, Reams, Adcock, Turner, Engineered Floors, Ferguson, Little, Cofield, Anglia, and Massey. Now, Vicki, what? Do we have a new total for the board?
We have a new total. They have been working hard. Listen.
Okay.
There is a
Okay, 5, 6, a 2. We have a 4. And a 3. Yeah.
Y'all are making it happen for our kids in our counties. Please call us. To Judy?
Well, now I'm back with Lieutenant Sebastian, and we're going to be talking about a little bit more about disaster services, because that is one that is very, very critical, and I know you see a lot of things that happen that's such a total disaster. Tell me a little bit about what that is and how that is, the services about that.
Sure. Our emergency disaster services is probably something that the Salvation Army is known for nationally. We do a great job in that aspect, whether it's a national disaster like many hurricanes that we've experienced in the last years, or whether it's a local disaster like we experienced here probably 5-6 years ago, where we responded. So whether it's a local response or a national response, the Salvation Army is committed to being there to help people. The branding behind all our food trucks, our canteens, is hope is on the way. So it's much more than just us being there or feeding people or passing out certain supplies. It's really, we want to spark a little bit of hope in a community that just experienced something totally devastating.
Right. Like a major tornado or
like major tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, fires, even though it's a little sad, even those recent school shootings or anything like that, the Salvation Army will be there to provide help for first responders, for survivors, spiritual counseling for those that are there as well that need someone to pray with them or pray over their family or just hold a hand or give a hug when things are uncertain.
Right. And I think you said you moved here in, what, June?
Yes.
So you're fairly kind of new.
Fairly kind of.
Right now. Unfortunately, I hope we haven't had any disaster.
No, so locally we haven't yet. I normally do serve as the logistics chief for our incident management team in Georgia, which means we normally get deployed most likely, or 14-day deployments, and usually if it's a national disaster like the ones we've experienced in the last couple of years in Florida or in the Panhandle or anything like that.
Yeah, because you just left. You left for, what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. So we do normally 14-day deployments if it is a disaster of that magnitude, like those major hurricanes or major tornadoes like we also had this year in Kentucky in that area if needed. But mainly we do respond to a lot of local or those hurricanes in the Panhandle or on the coast, on the Atlantic coast. And we just go and try to do our best for people that have lost a lot and try to be a spark of hope, like I said, so that they can believe that we can get through this, we can rebuild, or we can,
You know, if you think about, like, a lot of times when you see a national disaster or something on TV with a disaster, you always see the Salvation Army group of people there. I've always noticed that, you know?
Yeah, and the Salvation Army does pride itself in that, because we understand that, you know, some people may be lost in hope or may not know what to do next, may not feel like they can move on or recover. But we just want to provide that little bit of hope, whether it's through a hot meal or through giving out some blankets or tarps or praying for someone. We just want them to know that, you know, someone loves them, someone's there for them, someone's here holding your hand, and we're going to help as much as we can. And maybe that inspires them to, maybe I can get through this, maybe I can move forward. So we actually experienced a disaster ourselves in our last appointment in Griffin. Griffin was hit by several tornadoes. And the Salvation Army was no exception. We got hit by tornadoes as well. But one of the coolest feelings was my Salvation Army, or the Salvation Army I was directing at that time, got hit, but immediately in the morning there were other Salvation Army units ready to help us, ready to help serve people that were affected. So while even the Salvation Army might take effect in whatever city has a disaster, we're still committed to being there and helping. So
Well, it's like a family, actually, the Salvation Army. Wherever you're located, you're all doing for the same purpose.
exactly, and that's it. We have the same mission statement to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to meet human needs in His name without discrimination. So we all know that we're doing that for God's glory and for God's people. So we try our best to know each other, even perhaps I was there once before or anything like that. So we grow an attachment to each other, and we understand that we're all doing the same thing, and we're all helping our local communities. And sometimes in events of disasters, you need a little extra help. Those can really shake things up.
Right. Well, we just say thank you for the Salvation Army and all the many services that you're providing to our community and worldwide, actually. And then also tonight's telethon, people who are here that are joining us and listening, we're raising money for children to change their lives for the summer camp. But also, we're learning some of the great things that the Salvation Army provides to us. And so thank you for letting me have some time here.
Absolutely.
In this busy night.
That's right.
Telethon. We're going to find out how much we have raised so far. But first, we're going to show you a short clip video of some of the things that happen with disaster services.
At the Salvation Army, we know what comes after the aftermath. After the gale force winds retreat and the floodwaters recede. After the news coverage ends and the first responders head home. We know because we stay until the healing is complete. Give today to support relief efforts now and for years to come. With your gift, disaster doesn't mean defeat.
All right. Well, welcome. If you were just now joining us, you have joined the 2024 Billie Little Salvation Army Telethon, where we are raising much needed money for area youth to get them to summer camp this year, either one of many camps that are offered within a 6-week period this summer in the greater Dalton area, or to the 1-week camp in Camp Grandview in Jasper, Georgia. Beautiful camp. In both environments, the kids learn about team building, sports, music, the arts, just a great opportunity to learn all this in a Christian, God-based environment, Lord. It's amazing. And so your dollars, they go to help get these kids to camp that otherwise would not be able to experience that. So on the Billie Little Salvation Army stage that we are on, I have the privilege of being joined by our Divisional Secretary of Field Support, Major James Allison. Thank you, Major, for joining us this evening. So far, we are just under $35,000. Our goal is $35,000. We are well on pace to exceed that. Please keep those dollars coming in, 706-529-3000, or the QR code at the bottom of your screen to donate via credit card. Every dollar counts. Major, to be at this point in tonight's program, what's that do to you?
Oh, man, that's exciting for me to understand that the people of Dalton care about the people of Dalton, because we're not raising money for some other community. We're raising money for Dalton, Georgia tonight, and every dollar you give goes to sponsor a child at summer camp at Camp Grandview for a week, or to the 6-week day camp, which includes music education. What I've read recently is that children who learn to read music and learn to play an instrument, all of a sudden their classwork improves because they now know how to be disciplined. And because to learn to read music, you have to be disciplined to do that. And their behavior in class increases because of the discipline of learning to read music and playing an instrument and following the band director. All their life, all their life skill points, touch points, are improved by this music education that these children will have this summer for 6 weeks.
Man, I mean, that is a great description of what kids will be exposed to at these camps. The list goes on and on. We have had the privilege of learning from adults that have attended these camps and have learned these life skills that have helped propel them into adulthood. And it's through the donations that you all will provide by dialing 706-529-3000. One of these fine gentlemen here in front of me will take that call. We'll be glad to take that call and that donation to help our area youth. All money donated for this event stays within this community and helps change a life for the better. So again, we encourage you to please take just a moment and dial that phone or go to the QR code and make a donation via your credit card. And so earlier, Major, you were telling us, and I really feel it's something we need to hear again about your testimony about these camps and how you've seen other kids benefit from these camps as well.
Yes, as I said earlier, 57 years ago, I spent my first night away from home at a summer camp, at a Salvation Army summer camp. Changed my life. I was just thinking about a young man. He's not a young man anymore. He's now probably approaching 50 years old, who took to camp as a kid in Charlottesville, Virginia. And his life was changed forever by that camp. He now teaches car salesmen how to do their job, basically. And so you never know what the investment you make today. This is an investment we're asking you to make, an investment in the life of a child who will have the opportunity and be given the skills and the tools necessary to better themselves and to become a better adult. So invest today, invest well, invest heavily, because these children are counting on it. And what I learned one time picking up children in a trailer park, the Lord said to me, "How many other church buses you see up in here?" And I said, "I don't see anybody but me." And the Lord said to me, "If you don't do it, nobody else will." So tonight we're saying to you, if you don't do it, no one else is lined up to give your donation for you. No one else is lined up to invest for you. So I encourage you to invest well tonight, invest heavily tonight, because this is an investment in the future leadership of Dalton, Georgia. And I want to say thank you for all that you have invested thus far. You may have already given. And the Lord just said, "Hey, give some more." So come on, let's push this well past that goal, because these children are counting on you. If you don't give, no one else will.
Well said, Major. Again, we just appreciate so much those that have given and those that are considering. 706-529-3000 is the number to call. Keep these men in front of me busy to collect that donation, or use the QR code on your screen with your mobile device to make a donation via credit card. Thank you, Major, for joining us, and such a privilege having you tonight's event. And with that, we are now going to hear a beautiful rendition of Hallelujah by Shane Franks and Chris Glass.
They say there was a sacred chord that David played before the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, you saw her bathing on the roof. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to the kitchen chair. She broke your throne. She cut your head and From your lips she drew the hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Well, now I'm talking with Jane Sturdivant, who is the business manager, as well as Vicki Campbell, who is the family store manager for Dalton. And we are talking about some of the other additional services that the Salvation Army provides to our community. In addition, you see where we are with the telethon and where we are with fundraising. So we still need your help. Keep those phones ringing. But we're going to also continue with the interviews to give you a little bit more information about all the other services. But I know, Jane, you're new and relatively new to our community. Yeah. Welcome to Dalton and our community. But tell me a little bit about business, the business manager part, and that's the role you play.
Yeah. So my name is Jane, and I'm the new business manager for the Salvation Army here in Dalton, serving Whitfield, Murray, and Gordon County. Leah spoke earlier about in her department what they do. So because they do a phenomenal job, I do everything but social services. You know, that includes onboarding of our new staff members, communicating to our regional accountant to make sure all of our payables and receivables are up to date, and making sure both of our family stores are running well and efficiently, and just giving them the support that they need to do so. Mm-hmm. So
great, yeah. Great. Well, I know that's a big job. There's a lot going on there, keeping everything afloat. Tell me, Vicki, about the store, about the family store.
Well, our family stores are in Dalton and in Murray County, and so in Chatsworth, and we're open from Tuesday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
We are.
I know you have a lot of things in there.
Yes. On Mondays, back in 2020 we stopped because of
being on Mondays.
Yeah, being on Mondays. It was just a break for those type of situations, and so now hopefully by midsummer we're going to start opening on Mondays again.
Would be great. That would be great.
Yes.
If you've never been to the family store, you should. You got a lot of things in there.
A lot of stuff, different things,
and a lot of things that are needed as well.
Yes.
Right.
It's really funny because sometimes we get things donated that we don't even know what it is, and we have to look it up to see what it is so we can tell our customers that's what it is.
That's interesting. That's funny. Obviously, the thrift stores are different. So what kind of donations do you accept?
Yeah, so we accept all kinds of donations, you know, your normal and typical clothing, shoes, but we also accept furniture, good working furniture and appliances. So, yeah.
And we recently started appliances. We stopped for a while, but we see blessings every day. Even in the store, we had picked up our first appliances this year, and there was a woman who came in who was looking for a refrigerator because she hadn't had one for a month. And she couldn't afford a new one. And so she bought the refrigerator. So, you know, she was able to afford it there, but she couldn't at Lowe's, Sears, or anywhere else.
Right,
so,
right. At the big stores, it's kind of hard for people who are in really bad need to be able to find something that is affordable. And here it is at the Salvation Army. Kind of have it recycled makes a big difference, right?
It does. It does. It was a blessing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. What about, you talked about donations. You can pick up donations and have them picked up but you have to schedule those. Kind of give me an idea about the donation.
Well, if you have donations that are in large quantities or furniture, big items, we can schedule a truck. We do have a couple of trucks that we can send out. We pick up in Whitfield and Murray County. If Gordon does call, we don't get that many calls for Gordon County, but we would go to Gordon County. But we'll pick them up. They would call the store, and whenever they call the store, they would talk to myself or Tammy. She is our assistant manager there, and we would schedule some time. And we try to make it more efficient and schedule days apart. So Murray County's on one day, Whitfield's another day, those type things.
Right.
So.
And I know from experience, I had that happen. Like when my mother passed away, we, had a lot of good items that we wanted to donate to the Salvation Army, and we booked the truck, and they came out, and very nice. And so it made you feel good that you were giving to people as well as, you just knew the Salvation Army was going to be very helpful in monitoring those to make it affordable for people. So I love that.
And we do. We also know we have a responsibility to our donors to just to not just put 50 cents on something. So we do evaluate those and come between what the donor is expecting as well as the customer is expecting at a fair price.
Sure. What do you do with the proceeds?
All the proceeds go to all the services that Salvation Army offers in Murray and Whitfield and Gordon County.
So a lot of these that we've talked about tonight, that will go for that.
Yes.
So shop there, guys.
Yeah, we are a nonprofit organization, so the what we make there is what we use.
Right.
So
that's great. And what about any fun, exciting new events that maybe we can look forward to at the store?
Well, currently, we have a food drive going on. We had a gentleman who passed away that was a huge supporter of the Salvation Army. His name was Larry Williams, and in lieu of flowers, he wanted donations to the food bank.
So you can do that.
In April, we are doing a food drive in his honor.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you can make a request to donate whatever in lieu of flowers to the Salvation Army.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. What about, is there anything that we should know or look forward to for the upcoming
May, we are going to have our May Your Christmas Be Bright sale. So we are going to deck one side of the building in all Christmas.
Really?
So we have a lot of Christmas all kinds of things.
I know where my Christmas things are going to go.
Christmas trees, we've got decorations, we've got table decorations, we have got a lot. So in May, that is when we're going to have it.
Wonderful. That's great. I love that idea.
And also, we are now offering gift certificates.
Okay.
So if you know someone who likes to go to thrift stores, goes to our family store, we're able to provide them a gift certificate.
That's a great idea, too. That's new, too.
It is new.
I love all the new things that you're bringing in. That's great. Well, tell me a little bit about anything else, Vicki or Jane, that you'd like to share before we end this?
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole reason why we're doing this telethon is for our summer camp. And I know Leah mentioned it earlier, but we do hold a recital at the end of the summer camp. So look out for that.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
We should have mentioned that. Yes.
So, donors all the time are questioning, where does my money actually go to? Well, they can see that right here on July 25th. When we hold the recital. So, yeah.
Yeah. What time is the recital? Do you know that?
No, I don't know.
Okay,
yet.
but it's the 25th.
Yes.
That's going to be amazing to see how those kids perform and what they've learned from the summer camp.
Right.
I can't wait. Remind me. I want to be there. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We've got to go back to the telethon, though, right now. But first, we're going to look at a video of the family store, and then we'll be telling you where we are with the telethon. So stay with us.
Vicki's making her way back over to
total board. I'd like to thank our new donors, Lewis, Carpenter, Harris, Caperton, Fordham, Hayes, Whittle, Sellers, Kelleher, Reynolds, Saul, Buchanan, Moore, Berger, Rogers, Brantley, Legg, Rogers, Sane, Cole, Blanchard, Davis, McIntyre, Carpenter, McClurg, Peoples, and we can't forget our sponsors, Chick-fil-A, Little Caesars, Krispy Kreme, and OptiLink. All right, Vicki, do you have some new numbers for our board?
Got some new numbers. Here we go.
Oh, 0. We have an 8. And we have a 6. And we have a 1.
And we have a
4.
Yay!
All right, Vicki. How about we make Billy Little a little upset tonight, and we raise our goal to 45,000.
We can do it, can't we? We can do it. Come on. Back to Judy.
Well, now I'm talking with Lieutenant Sebastian and Natalie Aroki, and we're going to be talking about some of the other great things that are happening with the Salvation Army. But I want to say first, congratulations, 75 years. I'm going to let you announce that.
Yeah, so this year we get to celebrate 75 years, which is a pretty big milestone. We get to celebrate it, but honestly, we couldn't have done it without the community and the support that we receive. So that's what we're focusing on, is thanking you, thanking everyone who supports us. And that's why we're doing a 75th year gala on October 5th, just to celebrate a little bit about the Salvation Army and our 75 years here, and to show what we've come from, where we're going to. And that leads us into the conversation of we've been here 75 years, and hopefully we can be here another 75 years after that. All thanks to the support that we receive, all thanks to everyone who believes in our mission, and everyone who thinks that we should be here another 75 years.
Yeah. I'd like to be with you to celebrate that next 75 years, but probably won't be. But I know that, it's so exciting. 75 years is a milestone here of serving in our community. We just thank you and the Salvation Army for being here in our community and giving us so many great, great services for our community. But also, you mentioned you're going to have a gala?
Yes. Yeah, so the gala is just going to be a little bit of our celebration. We're going to invite some key supporters, some people that continue to support and provide support to the Salvation Army, and just invite a couple special guests, special speakers. Those are a little bit of a surprise, but we get to enjoy that, go back from where we started and see the progress that the Salvation Army has made. But not only that, just see stories and hear stories from people that have been helped by the Salvation Army long before I was here, long before many other officers were here, just to see the lasting impact that the Salvation Army does have in our community.
Yeah, those stories would be fantastic to hear. I look forward to hearing those stories. Also, I want to talk a little bit about Natalie, about the church services.
Yeah, so many people get caught off guard when we talk about the Salvation Army being a church, because we're pretty much recognized for our family stores, right, our thrift stores. But yes, we are very much a church. We host programs all around. On Sunday mornings, we have our worship service that starts at 11 a.m. We also have, my personal favorite is our Wednesday night programs, which are character building programs for our youth. We pour into the youth of this community. We know that the youth matters. From 5 to 6:30, we start off with dinner, with a devotional. We give them the Word of God, and we do free band classes for those who are interested. We do a beautiful teen ministry, and we just have an all-around good time. On Mondays, we have at 10 a.m., we have our senior luncheon, where they do bingo and devotional. And just recently, we've added the new ministry of a nighttime women's group every other Friday at 7 o'clock. And when I say the Lord is up to good things, He's doing good things.
Those are some great new programs. Now, are they open to people who anyone that wants to join in on
Open to the public, yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful. Well, let's talk a little bit about Camp Grandview too. Because that is why we are here tonight for the summer camp. Keep those phones ringing.
Camp Grandview holds a very special place in my heart. I was 7 years old when my family, 6 years old, 7 when my family received news about Camp Grandview, but 6 when we migrated to the United States from Uruguay, me, my mom, my dad, and my brother. And it happened that my mom's boss told her about some camp called Camp Grandview up in Jasper, Georgia, and you should send your child. It'd be really cool for him to go. So she did, and that summer we spent the summer a week at Camp Grandview, and it changed my life. I was loved like I was never loved before. I was just supported by a community. I felt like I belonged. I learned about God that I had no idea who he was. And I remember at that very specific place, and every summer I still walk right back to that very specific place where I gave my life to the Lord. And I said, Lord, if this is how you're going to love me, I want others to experience the love that I've received from you. So it's very important, very dear to my heart. Camp Grandview is just a blast, from pools to baseball fields, soccer, basketball, volleyball. Their favorite is probably pool time, and then next to that is canteen time, which is just a bunch of snacks that they get to go through and have. But they have a blast, biblical classes, outdoor living, fishing. So they just have a great time. It's really impacting on their life, and they will forever remember that experience that they had at Camp Grandview.
Right. And again, that is why we are here tonight, to raise money for those kids that can go to Camp Grandview. And I think it's like over $200 it costs now for kids to go to this camp. But your money, what you're sending in tonight, will help so many children in our community go to summer camp, not just for 1 week. We're talking about this whole summer, right? Or the 6 weeks, and then going into Camp Grandview. What an amazing change it can make in a child's life. Made a change in yours, right? Sure. Your first 10.
You're right.
Yeah, you're looking at someone who was just a kid, just a byproduct of something that the Salvation Army offered. And today I get to have the privilege of being that voice for other kids and other people that may not have a voice or feel like they're not loved or welcomed. It's life-changing, and what they experience will truly shape the rest of their life.
Right. There's so many children out there that are facing so many things in life. It's hard. Right. It's hard, but going to something like this can show them the love that God has, as well as, making new friends.
Absolutely. They make friends that they'll grow up to know. So it's amazing.
Wow. All right. So thank you so much for that. All right. We're going to find out what we are raising now tonight. Keep those phones ringing. We'll show you in just a few minutes what the total board is. But first, we're going to go to a short Camp Grandview video, let you experience that, and keep those phones ringing.
1 week at Camp Grandview will give a child a world of opportunity. Located at the foot of Sharp Top Mountain in scenic Jasper, Georgia, each summer, Camp Grandview comes alive with hundreds of children making lifetime summer memories. Camp Grandview is available for everyone, but thanks to the generous donations of our supporters, it is affordable enough to give thousands of children from low-income families the opportunity to enjoy fresh air, exercise, good food, and develop new and healthy friendships. Their camping experience is more than just a pleasant vacation. Children learn new skills and self-reliance in a safe place from trained counselors who understand their emotional needs and are able to help them mature. Each week during the summer months, approximately 250 children from age 6 to 15 come to Camp Grandview from all over Georgia. They get to see and climb mountains, canoe across a lake, swim and dive off a diving board supervised by certified lifeguards, fellowship with children their age, and experience Bible study and worship every day. Campers also get the chance to learn music, dance, and drama through the Music and Creative Arts Conservatory, where professional instructors help develop their creativity and imagination. There are countless stories of wonderful camp experiences, and Camp Grandview wants those stories to continue to the next generation. For many kids across Georgia, Camp Grandview is only possible through your generosity. $225 can send one child to camp for a full week and give them an experience they can take with them for a lifetime. Donate now and change a child's life forever.
Well, if you're just now joining us, you have joined the 2024 Billie Little Salvation Army Telethon. This is an annual event where, if you just saw that video, it was a promo for Camp Grandview in beautiful Jasper, Georgia, where we're sending local kids through your donations to that camp to learn life-changing skills, be exposed to Christian fundamentals, get exposed to music, to the arts, team building, skills that will change them for a lifetime. But through your donations, that's how they get there. This is individuals but for the donations, they do not get to go to that camp. So we encourage you, dial the number at the bottom of your screen, 706-529-3000, or the QR code at the bottom of your screen with your mobile device to give via your credit card. So great, exciting night tonight. We just raised the goal to 45,000. Phones are ringing right now. Very excited about that. We have a special treat, if you want to call it that. Judy and I might sing a little tune. So if we do, we may raise the goal up to 50,000. And if you don't want us to sing, you can donate maybe $200. So just something to think about. So we're willing to do whatever it takes, but folks, to get kids to camp, to change their lives for the better. So again, 706-529-3000. Call in your donation right now. Any donation, $1, $5, it gets us to our new goal of $45,000. All dollars go to local kids to get them to one of the camps this summer. Now, I did not ask her, but Billie, I need you to come back up on stage. I do. This lady that I've called back up here, the namesake for this telethon, got this started 27 years ago, and we are just so grateful for her leadership and her vision for this event and bettering the youth of our community. Billie, what gets you coming back every year?
Why?
Yes.
Because those children need to go to camp.
There you go.
It's real simple.
Sure enough.
And it's really a need. And if you talk to any parent that has had their children go to this camp, then you'll know even more how important it is for them to go.
Most definitely. Thank you so much. You hear the emotion in her voice, the sincerity. It is true passion that is exuded from this woman to get us to where we are today. It's such a worthwhile cause. There are so many things vying for your dollars, but we can give you this guarantee this evening: the money that you donate, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, however many dollars that you donate, it goes to help a child, help their future. And think about that. Billie, you've been doing this for 27 years. It's sobering to think that when you first started, those kids are well into adulthood now. And the seeds that were planted then, we heard about this all night long, the seeds that were planted then, these kids are living fruitful adulthood, raising families themselves, and perhaps sending their kids to these camps as well. So we thank you in advance. Please consider giving this evening, 706-529-3000. Or get these phones ringing, or the QR code at the bottom of your screen. Again, in just a little bit, Judy and I may sing a song to get some donations. So, if we hear this phone ring in the next little bit, we'll sing a song for everybody. And if we hear the phone ring again, we may not sing this song. No, we want to do whatever it takes for these kids. Oh, there it is. We're singing, Judy. Oh, Lord, help us all. Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you. Thank you again for your donations. We greatly appreciate it. There's the phone again. Okay. Oh, my gosh. So, Billie, through the course of your serving in this wonderful event that you have spearheaded, what are some fond memories of lives being changed?
It's just seeing the children go to their program at the end of the summer I want the Salvation Army to put that on the front page when the program will be at the end of summer, and go and see those children. I mean, they start at 6 years old, and you will see why I'm standing here, because it will make an impression on you that what these children have learned in those 6 weeks.
Yeah, most definitely. We've heard testimonials from kids that are now adults that literally their life was changed because someone such as yourself sent them to the camp through their donations. And so again, we thank you so much. 706-529-3000. Get those calls in. We're hearing the phones ring right now. We're trying to hit that new goal of 45,000. And with your support, we can do just that in helping the youth of this community. Again, every dollar raised stays here. Doesn't go off to some other place around the country. It goes right here to help the kids of the greater Dalton area. So please consider giving. QR code at the bottom of your screen will allow you to give via credit card, and we would greatly have you contribute. So with that, I believe I will be meeting Judy over at the total board for a song.
Come to our total board.
Well, I wonder if we're going to get $50,000.
I know, come on. I mean, you're singing a song. That's right. Oh, no, we're not. Come on.
I want to hear the phones ringing.
It's,
Come on. I don't hear any phones ringing. Maybe that's a sign.
I know, right? Oh, there it is.
There it is. There it is. Yay.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Well, what do we have? Do we have anything? Where are we? Oh, 45,000.
45,000 is the goal. All right.
Well, we'll just go ahead and do it on good faith. You can send it in. How about that?
That works. All right. Okay.
Let me get the beat going.
Okay.
I got to get the rhythm going. Okay, Jason?
There you go.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
There we go.
You gotta,
The stronger voice is covered.
You got to share this mic. You've had this mic all night long, okay?
All right.
All right. Let me get it started. Come on, everybody. Clap your hands. All right.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Let it shine. Now, this is the verse. This is original. Okay. Go ahead. Keep it going, guys. We got to have that beat.
I'm gonna send a kid to camp. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna send a kid to camp. I'm gonna let it shine. Everybody, I'm gonna send a kid to camp. I'm gonna let it shine. 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 All right.
Did we get any more money?
Well, I tell you what, I think it's a good time for a new total board. Are we ready for that? All right, fantastic. We'll step.
Very important people.
Yes.
Yes, we would like to thank our sponsors, Chick-fil-A, Little Caesars, Krispy Kreme, OptiLink, and we have quite a few new donors that we need to thank. Thompson, Loving Good, Boggs, Hogan, Dean, Elliott, Smith, Crowley, Brown, Sellers, Coppage, Lewis, Myers, Bryant, Penley, Yarbrough, Maybank, Pierce, Pennington, Hare, Bandy, Westmoreland, Sloan, Hare, Peoples, Elrod, Dennard, Calfee, Wright, Bosma, Middleton, Davies, Clark, Anderson, Chatsworth Lions Club, Brooker, and Eadson.
I'm not sure if it's because they didn't want you to sing or they wanted you to sing. We're going to try it. Let's see what we've got.
Yes, let's see the new numbers. 0.
All right. 4.
4.
4. 2.
$440.
Thank you so
My
much.
goodness.
That is so good.
Amazing.
Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. So, my gosh. Well, what is up next?
Well, we're going to show a video, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
Do a video. How about that?
Human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar criminal industry that denies freedom to over 40 million people around the world. And no matter where you live, chances are it's happening nearby. 71% of victims are women and girls. 25% are children. Survivors all share one thing: the loss of freedom. The Salvation Army is fighting for their freedom through awareness and training, prevention and outreach, survivor services and recovery, and partnerships and advocacy. Each survivor's journey is different, and through our anti-trafficking programs and partnerships, we work to meet their individual needs and empower them to move forward. Everyone is welcome to join our fight. Learn how to get involved at sajustice.us.
Hey guys, I'm Shane Franks, and this is my good friend Chris Glass. And we want to thank you for being a part of this telethon, and thanks for making a difference.
Are these times contagious? I've never been this bored before. Is this the prize I've waited for? Now with the hours passing, there's nothing left here to ensure. I long to find the messenger. And I got a long way to run. And I got a long way to run. Yeah, I run. Oh. Is there a cure among us from this process sanity? Are we with each voice that sings? Now in this world of purchase, I'm gonna buy back memories to awaken some more qualities. And I got a long way to run. And I got a long way to run. Yeah, I run. Oh, yeah, I run. Oh. And I got a long way to run. And I got a long way. And I got a long way. And I got a long way to run. Oh. I got a long way to run. I got a long way to run. I got a long way to run. I got a long way to run.
Well, fantastic song there. We appreciate them so very much. And if you're just tuning in, you've tuned in to the 2024 Billie Little Salvation Army Telethon. What a night we've had. We're about to conclude another successful event, and it's because of donations that have come in this evening and that we are still asking for. If you see at the bottom of the screen, 706-529-3000 is the number that you can call in to help send area kids to the camps, Salvation Army camps, either in the greater Dalton area. There's a 6 weeks of day camps here this summer, and then also the magical Camp Grandview in beautiful Jasper, Georgia. Your donations get these kids to those camps where the lessons, the Christian fundamentals, being exposed to team building, the arts, etc., changes them for a lifetime. Joined with me on the Salvation Army Telethon stage is Lieutenant Aroki with the Salvation Army, who he himself had a fantastic experience with Camp Grandview. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Captain?
Absolutely. So it all started actually when my family migrated to the United States in 2001. My parents wanted to give me, my brother, and my mom and dad a better future. They thought we could get a better education. They thought we could have more opportunity here in the United States, which, as we all know, is the American dream, if you call it. Little did we know that the Salvation Army would play a key role in that. When I was 7 years old, my mom worked at a hair salon. And one day she went to work, and her boss told her, what are your kids doing this summer? And she said, well, there's not a lot for them to do. We can't have them do anything special. We had just gotten to the country about 6 months ago. And she said, well, the Salvation Army has fantastic camps. So there I went as a 7-year-old to old Camp Grandview. And Camp Grandview truly changed my life. I got to meet people that I would have never met. I've got to do things that I would have never gotten to do. And most importantly, I still remember, and I go back every summer with the kids, so I get to enjoy it as well. But every year, I make it a point to go and stop by the tabernacle. And right there on the very last row, on the left-hand side of the tabernacle, is where I gave my life to God. And it holds a very special place in my heart. And I know that this camp does that to countless children's life every summer, but it still holds the same value to me, because I know that it truly does change life. And here I am today, and I can have the honor of directing the Salvation Army here in Dalton. I would have never done that if it wasn't for Camp Grandview. So it's important.
Lieutenant, I couldn't say that any better. It's really out of the words of a true testimonial of what you experienced. And it was through donations that got Lieutenant Aroki there and where he is today. And you can do the same thing for kids later this summer, next year, the year following. So what a great way, again, to recognize why we're here tonight. Donation 706-529-3000. We're still taking those donations. QR code will allow you to give via your mobile device. And with that, let's get everyone. Look, I just heard the phone again. We're going to get some special people on the stage to celebrate our final tonal board for this evening, but we'll still take donations. We've got Billie, Cherry, Lieutenant Aroki, and Thank you, Amy and Vicky, for your help here at the total board. Judy, Cherry. All right. Are we ready for our final total?
Let's thank our sponsors first.
Okay.
Sponsors. Chick-fil-A, Little Caesars, Krispy Kreme, and OptiLink. And we have just a couple more donors that we would like to thank. Hall, Childers, Pinnell, Pinson, Robertson, McKenzie, Stanley, and Davenport. So
Awesome.
Vicky.
Wonderful.
Great.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Here we go.
Final total, ladies and gentlemen.
Final total. Did we meet it? We passed it. How much did we pass it?
Number 5.
A little bit at a time. Tortoise in the hair.
2.
And here we go. Last one.
$62,575. Thank you all so much. See you next year.
Bye. Thank you.
Every year, the Salvation Army serves nearly 30 million people in need. That's one person every second. So by the time you've finished watching this, 30 more lives will have been changed for good. All thanks to your donations.
Thank you.